If you are getting ready to apply for jobs and need a portfolio, you can use my architecture portfolio guide and just add your work and text and you are done. Yes, I just did most of the work for you. The link is below, so start downloading. In this video, I will give you so much information, so get your notepad out, go make a cup of coffee or tea or whatever you want to drink, but there is also a giveaway. There will be one lucky person who I will do the portfolio for them. All you need to do is send over your work and I will do the rest for you. Watch until the end to see how to enter this giveaway. I will go over 5 tips to help you make a successful portfolio that will get you a job. An introduction on how to use InDesign, and then a tutorial on how to use the template and add your work. If you want to skip straight to the 5 tips, then go to this time. If you want to skip through the introduction and get straight to the tutorial, then go to this time. Before we get into the tips, there is one thing you should know. It's called KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. You should try to use this rule as much as you can, because I am a strong believer of less is more. So make sure that everything is nice and neat and clean, that everything looks good together and there's a strong continuity throughout the whole project. So I will now go over 5 tips to help you make a better portfolio. First off, project brief. When you add your project brief, you don't want it to be extremely long, as you will never have enough time to go through it, and if you just skip it, that's not very professional. People talk about the programs they have used and how the project went, and that's just a lot about the concept. You should talk about how the construction went, the regulations, because these are part of real things life and you can discuss them with the interviewer. When you add too much text, you can see how it overpowers the actual content of the page. It just makes you want to flip to the next page, so keep it short and effective. All design work starts with sketching, and it is what we architects are known for, so make sure you show this. When someone shows loads of fancy renders, yes, it's nice, but how did you get there? Where is the design process? And there is nothing better than showing a nice hand sketch. You don't need to add this in the pages of the actual portfolio, but it could be something that you put towards the end about your hobbies or show off some of your sketching abilities. Content. Imagine you are working in a busy firm and you have a few interviews to attend to. Now you obviously don't want to spend hours and hours in the interview. You want to get to know the person, see his work, and that's it. You don't want to know every single project he has done in his whole life. So having a short portfolio is important. The portfolio I showed to get my job was only about 14 pages long, and I think you should never go more than 15 pages personally, but that is still up to you. So make sure you only add your best and recent work and not every single project. Design process. You can show most of your text in drawings. How the building works can be shown in a diagram. The concept could be a diagram that shows how the concept is. So make sure you know when to add and remove text. Adding a design process drawing is important. It shows your concept and shows why you have done things in a diagrammatic rather than a paragraph. The design process makes people understand your approach to the project and why you have done things in a certain way. It shows the way you think and how to tackle problems. It shows the story that you created for this project, and that is what people love. Composition. In a portfolio, we have to look at the following: font, hierarchy, scale, and quality. The font is something very important and has to be chosen very carefully, and you have to use a variety of text to make the page more exciting. You can see how I've added Beba's New and Century Gothic. I think they work very well together and complement each other extremely well. If you want a good video about fonts, go watch Surviving Architecture's video on best fonts for architects. I'll have it linked in the description and the card, so make sure you look at her video. Hierarchy. There should be a clear order to the work in your portfolio and how it presents. And for each project you must decide and draw attention to the most important diagram or drawing and make it seen first. Then take the viewer to the second and third drawing. Each section in your portfolio must tell a short story about the project's inputs and outputs and how they were developed into a building. Scale. Ensure that your portfolio can be read at smaller scales. Larger scales are generally fine, but an A3 portfolio is very likely to be printed at A4 by the interviewer, so they save paper and ink. So you must be able to scale it and still be successful. Quality. During application process, you have a short time to convince the interviewer that you are worth a second look. You need to present your work via minimal and descriptive text, well-weighted and simple line work for plans, elevations, sections, properly exposed and well-composed photographs. Now I'm going to quickly show some basics on how to use InDesign. Now I'm going to go through this quite quickly, so if you get stuck, watch my other video which has a more detailed tutorial than this one. First, you need to get familiar with the interface of the program. So you have your tabs on the top left, and then you have your basic tools on the right. And all of your other tools are also on the right, which are where your master pages and normal pages are, which I will come to later on. I am just going to do a quick demonstration on how to use some of the basic tools. So this is your new sheet here, and we will use the shape tool and use it to create a template where we can add our drawings into later. So I will just create a few rectangles and I will use Alt to copy it over, and I just resize them to whatever size I think something like this is okay for now. You will then drag and drop your files into the shape. You then get an orange box when you click in the middle. This is the shape of the actual file. The blue box represents the crop that you've made, which is the actual view. When you click on the orange box, you can still use Shift to make it smaller or bigger. You can then change the crop view, which is in blue as well. To add a text box, you will need to use the text tool or click T and create whatever shape you want. You can also go to the top left and find your fonts. To see how it will look with text, you can click on the box, right click and click on Fill with Placeholder Text, and it will fill it for you. To make your life easier, I have created font styles. This is like a layer. So you select your text box and click which style you want to put on. And if you have changed your font in the text style, it will change all of the text boxes automatically. I have created two font styles for this portfolio. One normal text and one with the titles. Now let's get into the tutorial and how to use the template and add your work. I would recommend that you have the same template open and we can do it together. First we will start with the front cover. You can go to the master page here and open it. Just fill in the details mentioned, but do change the image as this is my own and you can't use it. It can be a nice model image or a diagram or even a render, but make sure it's black and white. Now you have a variety of layout styles to use. They all work very well together, so you can mix and match them. I added a variety because not everyone creates drawings to the same size, so you can pick and choose and see whichever one works for you, and you can always change them as well. Now I will go to the content page and add my CV. I did this a little bit different than a CV. It's just like a infographic, like a resume that says what programs I can do and whatever. I will only use 2 projects just as there is no point to show you all the projects because it's all the same. I will now do the content page. So the first thing I will do is add a render in each project and add the project name. I then added a black stroke to show which project I will show next. I will now start adding my first project in the layouts. I will use the text box tool and go over the layout and add my text box. I will fill it with a placeholder text and double check that I have selected the right style by selecting the box and then checking what it says on the paragraph style. I will add my concept drawing first as this is the whole concept in one page. I then made the second text box and added the other text style to it, which is the title. On this side, I want a full image render just to give the wow factor when you first open the project page. So I will add my master plan. No scale bar, no text, it's all very self-explanatory. You might think that InDesign shows you images pixelated, but that's only because it hasn't loaded it fully yet, so you can work quicker. You can change the quality by right click and go to display performances and change it. Each one shows it differently, but keep it on typical as it's you can still see it, it's usable, and it's also very fast. You can change the text spaces here And I just did that, just to have the text more centered, as it looks more minimal and looks less squashed. I did the same thing when going into the text style. So now every time I create a box and assign the text style, it will change for all of them automatically. If you do want more font styles, you can go here and just right click and duplicate the layer style. On this page I added like little diagram boxes. This is only so you can add your individual diagrams depending on what size they are. Be some personal stuff. So this is what I was talking before, that you can add some of your sketches towards the end, and you could also add some photography or a hobby, but keep it professional. I know the photographs are really bad. I had to I had to literally scrape them together just so that you guys could see the layout, so don't judge me. I then went back and added the titles on all pages. Nothing crazy or anything, just nice and simple text. Now to export, you need to be patient. You can choose to have pages or as spreads. This depends on how you print. If you want to print like a booklet, then I suggest you print it as spreads, just to see how the pages work side by side. Sometimes companies say that what you upload has to be less than a specific amount of megabytes. So that's to just not make you send a 100-page portfolio. But you can lower these settings until you have something that's below the range. And then just wait. Don't try to click on it straight away, because it will say 0 megabytes for a couple of minutes, but just hang on tight and it will all work out at the end. Now before we get into how the portfolio looks like at the end, I just want to show you how to enter the giveaway. So first you have to do is you have to subscribe to my channel, you have to comment, like and share this video, and I will use a randomized tool on internet, and I will pick a random person and I will do the whole portfolio for them. And this is the final portfolio. I really like and love this front cover. Let me know how you guys got along if you followed the tutorial. It's nice and simple, which makes it easy to understand and has a very clear story on each page. Nice empty space, you're letting the pages breathe, and it just